are live. Everybody, thanks for coming today because I'm super excited about what we have to talk about. We're over 550 people on this live stream, and that's amazing. Ollie, how the hell are you?
I'm good, Daniel. How are you? I'm so super excited.
Dude, I'm pumped. I'm jazzed, right? So I want to lay a little groundwork here for everybody that's kind of tuning in because we have a very exciting announcement today. Something that I don't get real jazzed about stuff in the tech space. A lot of times it takes me a lot. Flux has jazzed me a lot over the past month or so. But this is something that's really going to be awesome. So we have kind of a unique opportunity, and that is that over the past several weeks, we've seen significant issues with AWS and their ability to keep up centralized entities. One of those things was decentralized exchanges. And that presents a huge problem in itself because that is a major issue. It's very difficult for anyone to talk about being decentralized if when your infrastructure on a centralized entity goes down, it takes you with you. So I'm super pleased to announce our partnership today. Ollie, if you want to go ahead and roll the video.
Sure, let's do it.
I am super pleased to announce that Kadex will be the very first truly decentralized exchange running on the Flux platform. I have Nicholas Ramsrud with me, who is the Chief Product Officer for Kadex. Nicholas, this is like your first time out of the out from behind the curtain. The Wizard of Oz has pulled back the curtain. Welcome aboard, man.
Man, I gotta say those intros, man, I got FOMO with Flux watching those intros.
Get the goosebumps going, man.
It's just really incredible what you guys are doing. So we're really excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, and it's nice to be able to share this with the communities. And right now, they're in the process of cascading this to your community and the KDA community as well, because I think it's super important. So what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the premise of what we're going to be doing as a partnership. And one of the serious deficiencies in the centralized world is the fact that decentralized DeFi runs on centralized infrastructure. So Caddix is pioneering the way because they identified very early on. You reached out to me and said, hey, we need Caddix to be on a decentralized network. So tell me a little bit what kind of went through your mind when that was happening.
Well, yeah, you kind of nailed it on the head early on when you were talking about all the problems we've been seeing in these so-called decentralized networks, exchanges, everybody who's running on decentralized services for hosting, how that can affect and even bring down certain networks or exchanges that run upon them, right? So at Caddix, we really do believe in achieving the true vision of DeFi, which is everything from open and accessible to all, both in how cheap it is to interact with the platform and making it simple for everybody to use, but then also building something that everybody can participate in, decentralized in that fashion, but also create an infrastructure that will be more robust and live on, really create something that's going to live on beyond us.
Yeah, and I mean, really, that's what it comes down to is, I see people talking in chat saying, "Well, is this? I thought these guys were already partnered. What does this mean?" And it's not. This is huge. This is the very first decentralized DEX running on a decentralized Web3 backbone, and the importance of what this means. This is monumental. You talk about pivot points in technology. Maybe when you went from Web 1 where it was read only, and then you moved into Web 2 where it was read write, and you had Twitter and these other platforms, Facebook, MySpace, and now we're into Web 3 where it's completely in the hands of the end users. So I mean, that's exciting. I mean, and I imagine it's probably pretty damn exciting to be in your position too, because you kind of get to lead that ship.
Yeah, it really is. I've been a big believer in what Kadena has been pushing and developing over these past couple of years, and just being able to be a part of achieving a small part of what Kadena can deliver has been massive. I'm just like over the moon. It's a dream come true, really, if I'm honest, to be in this position. But I really think that what Kadena is doing, and then what we can provide to the DeFi space based on Kadena's technology, is just going to be disruptive, but it's also going to bring what DeFi really was meant to be, right? It's meant to be accessible and open to all, cheap and easy to use. And I think that's what we're going to be able to deliver.
Yeah. So talk with me a little bit about, fleshing out what this looks like. So, running Caddix on, a decentralized network like with Flux. I mean, that's ultimately what we were built for, right? Today when Amazon was going down and, Twitch was down, and as a matter of fact, Microsoft Duo went down too, which is kind of terrifying because, you're using Duo two-factor authentication for damn near everything. So, part of my vision is to see Caddix on that completely decentralized infrastructure with decentralized two-factor authentication, really opening up the door for true decentralized ecosystem. So is that where that I think that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because, when we're talking about finances and in having something that we're building that could possibly at any moment go down in this regard is just unacceptable. I mean, what we're talking about are systems for people to gain access to. Not only are we talking about swaps and trades, but in the future, we're talking about lending and all sorts of different things, right? So those sorts of services need to be available at all times.
Yep.
Having any moment where you can't gain access to it can damage the platform in a long-term way, right? So we need to make sure that what we're building at the very beginning is built to scale, which is really the technology we're focusing on, and built to be robust and outlive us, right? So that's kind of when we were looking and talking about this within the team of, okay, we've talked about decentralizing so many parts of this, from the organization to how the platform is going to be run and operated. We really need to address this other side of it, which is this front end, not only the website, but the front end application. It doesn't really make sense to have it all funnel through one centrally hosted portal. And no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
It's kind of what Flux was born for. And just to bring our, because we have a lot of people from the Flux community on there and other communities that were kind of chiming in. In a nutshell, give me a 10,000 foot view of what Caddix is and what makes Caddix so unique. Why am I so excited that Caddix is going to be partnering with Flux? Because this is, to me, this is fucking huge. So, tell me why Caddix is the king of all DeFi king.
So Cadex is going to be the first decentralized exchange built upon Kadena. So those that aren't aware of what Kadena is and what it offers, it's the first truly scalable proof of work layer one. And what I mean is they've achieved a way of scaling infinitely in a proof of work blockchain network so as to never run into issues of scalability, which in the context of DeFi, what that means is the implications on gas costs for both transactions, swapping and liquidity and everything under the sun, right? this technology allows us to minimize those gas costs and allows us to scale infinitely as we grow. But then a second part of that, and it sounds simple, but it's actually quite disruptive, is this concept of subsidizing gas within Cadena.
That's huge. That's freaking
it's
huge,
massive.
Nicholas. That is massive.
It's massive. So what Cadena allows you to do is, in setting up smart contracts, you can point the smart contract to a gas station contract, allowing users to interact with your smart contracts without having to pay the gas fees associated. So not only is the layer one scalable, so gas will never increase, and so it's always going to be cheap, but Cadex will always pay for it. So trading on our platform, liquidity provisioning on our platform will always be gas free, which in our eyes is not only is it something huge for just everybody. Everybody's going to be interested in using something that's cheap and easy to use, but it also creates DeFi that is truly accessible to all, right? No longer are people going to have, well, man, I really don't want to trade on Uniswap because it's going to cost me $300 to go execute this trade that I'm not even sure if it's going to be successful or not. You'll never have to worry about that with Cadex.
Yeah, that in itself is, I mean, you just said everything that we have visioned for DeFi since the day it was born, right?
Yep.
I was underwhelmed with pancake, sushi, banana, whatever the hell food what it was that launched. You know what I mean? Like, and even the fact that they can, call themselves a decentralized exchange and they go down when AWS goes down is quite amusing to me. I mean, it is quite amusing. And as a matter of fact, I think it was the Washington Post that pointed this out, or maybe the New York Times, one or the other. They said the decentralized exchange went down when AWS went down. It was almost making a laughing stock of what we're doing, pushing forward this DeFi initiative. So yeah. I think that this in itself, this partnership, the way that we're identifying the opportunity to grow DeFi is the way that it was supposed to be from the beginning. And that is a decentralized platform, a decentralized DEX, right, that runs on a decentralized computational network with tie-ins to Web3. This is the holy grail. This is DeFi at its finest. So yeah. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to really be awesome. So let's do this. Since we have over 500 people on this live stream, which is super amazing. Let's take a couple questions. So what we'll do is if Ollie, if you want to cherry pick a couple questions, Nicholas and I will field them live here for everybody on the live stream.
Sure. All right, guys, if you can maybe post your questions there on the YouTube chat. All right, that's the first question, I guess.
It's always the when.
Yeah.
You'll all be seeing, I'm going to be posting something here pretty shortly, kind of like a State of the Union address on everything we've got going on, because there's so many aspects to launching a decentralized exchange, especially going and launching it on a different network, blockchain network like Cadena. You can't have one unless you have assets to trade, right? So we've been working on creating bridges, on building our technologies, and really those things are just taking a bit longer than we thought to, and a lot of things that were out of our hands. So as of right now, launch is looking like it's going to be in the first quarter of 2022. We're working day and night right now, building these things, working to get assets onto Cadena so that we have a proper trading experience, proper pairs for every asset that we've got. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and I'll throw in too, just to expand on that. We threw each other a curveball too, because we said, hey, if we're going to build it, why don't we launch it on Flux? So I mean, I think there's some pieces in there that has to come into play as well. So we're gonna have to figure out how we know how we want to do it and how it will roll out. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an iterative process, but yeah, there's lots of work to be done on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, lots and lots of work.
All right, second question is, how many instances on nodes will Kadex run on?
I can field that one, and I can tell you, when Cadena launched their node structure, we went from, our target goal was about 50 nodes. We got 50 nodes in a day, and we're well over 900 now. So it's hard to say. I would imagine Caddix looking a little bit similar in the sense that we want to make sure it's as saturated as humanly possible. And I think there's going to be definitely some incentivization on top of that to launch this infrastructure and grow it out. But yeah, the more the merrier. I mean, I think it's honestly like running a node is the most wholesome way to participate in decentralization. And this is just an extension of the next level decentralization. So super excited about it.
All right, will Kadex soon be implemented into Zelcore?
I can take that one too. Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is something that we've been talking about and working on. It's a partnership that we're looking to continually grow between the two. I mean, we have a lot of things where we have mutual interests, and so I don't think that this is out of the realm of possibility.
I can tell you right now, Zelcore is going to do everything and anything to make sure that this is facilitated, because we are super excited. We believe in the technology. The fact that it's going to have its part of its front end, I mean, really the meat and potatoes of what the exchange is running on Flux, that's huge. And Zelcore is going to do whatever they can to make sure that they support that. So I'm super excited about the opportunities it brings to Zelcore as well, because it really just kind of opens it up.
Yeah, and to add a little bit more to that, we are building right now an SDK, a software development kit, to allow anybody and everybody to implement an interface for whatever their wallet or their platform is onto Cadex. So it'll be open and free to all.
Yep.
All right, next question is interested in public sale, when and to whom is it going to be available?
Yeah, so this is something we're finalizing the plans to now. Really, really excited to announce what this is going to be, and it's coming. It'll come out in the next couple of weeks as we go and finalize what the plan's going to be, but it will be public and open to all.
I like that.
Me too.
Let me take the previous question here first. So how is the money generated for the gas stations, and who is paying for them?
So Caddix will be paying for them. So we will be subsidizing all gas for what would be normal transactions within the decentralized exchange. Obviously, there's going to be situations where a user decides to take high risk gas in that regard. But for the most part, gas on Cadena is very, very cheap because the platform scales really well. Gas will never really be an issue, right? So we'll be handling that. I mean, right now, as it stands, I think our gas station has like 2 Cadena in it, and that lasts quite a good amount of time. So it really is a cheap cost in order to give people that seamless user experience, where you don't need to have Cadena in your wallet in order to trade on the platform.
All right, so next question is, will Kadex have all the coins available on other DEX like Pancake, Uni, Sushi, etc.?
That's something we're working on. Obviously, in order to do that, we have to build a bridge from other chains onto Cadena. So I know Cadena is working on that, as well as we are. Because more bridges the merrier, right? So we're all working to do that, but we're also really focused on being kind of the first launch platform and decentralized exchange for offering what is soon going to be, in all honesty, a very, very exploding ecosystem of projects on Cadena as people kind of wise up to what they're truly capable of doing. So we're really positioning ourselves for what Cadena is going to be doing, as well as looking at bridging over all the assets that people are interested in trading, right? All the big ones, as well as some of those smaller ones. So yes, it's something we're working on, but like I said earlier, it's technology that takes quite a bit of time.
All right. So next question is, will node owners get any benefit from hosting this exchange?
Yes. We don't know what that looks like yet. We're going to have to figure those dynamics out. I imagine it's going to look something like our other partnerships as well, some incentivization to stand up infrastructure. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, the goal is to have it on as many nodes as humanly possible so that it continues to push them to an unrivaled level of decentralization. And it's a great use case for what we're doing with Web3 and really pushing the envelope. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So will Kadex nodes run on Cumulus or only on Nimbus and Stratus?
I envision it running on all three. So that's the way I think that it's going to go down, is depending on what the the rollout looks like. I think I want to see the whole network be able to participate in this. I think it's huge. So
yeah, I don't think it's resource intensive enough to require massive amounts of resource, because it's basically just going to be front end load balancing across the network. So it should be able to be run on everything.
Yep, I agree. So we'll go ahead and take one more question, Ollie, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening, because I'm sure everybody's got to get to their dinner or whatever it is, or go to sleep, because I know a lot of people were waiting up to hang out with us.
Okay, I'm just looking at the one last question. Let's see if I can pull one up. All right, so let's see. Okay, what is this? Okay. So what about the XWallet? Is there reason to use that wallet and Zelco together?
So the XWallet is a web extension wallet that we've been developing. Kind of goes in hand with our thoughts and want to make DeFi as simple as possible, right? So if you're familiar with the current offerings of wallets that work on Cadena, work with Cadena assets, there isn't currently a web extension wallet. So we wanted to put one out there because that's a form factor that a lot of people are used to. It also gives us an opportunity to really simplify the whole process of interacting with the swap mechanism itself. So there isn't a reason to use that and Zelcore together, but it's going to be one of those things where, whatever you're used to, whatever you prefer to use, you can use.
Yeah, I think there needs to be lots of options on that. And actually, we can even look at ways to run that in a decentralized manner at some particular point in time. So, yep. I mean, I think it's you're only limited to what your imagination is on these things. So, yeah, it's really exciting. Okay, guys, thank you, everybody and gals. Thank you all for attending. You can check us out at runonflux.io. Nicholas?
And I am on Caddix.com, or my Twitter handle as Nicholas Ramsrud. So hit me up there too.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. And we look forward to having a great partnership for many years to come.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing me on. Nicholas. I appreciate the time, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas.